Hey, Tiffany.
Hello, Tiffany.
Hi.
So good to see you.
Great to see you too.
It's been a while. When did we see you last?
I think it was it like maybe 2016 Midwest
Oh,
Honor Convention?
I
It was
didn't
a
know it was
while
that
ago.
long. Wow.
It was a while ago.
And
And yeah,
where was it again?
the Midwest Haunters
That's
Convention.
so. Tell us about those monsters back there. What's in the background?
Um, these this one I made. This one's a demon mask. Um, it falls over though, but this one I like is this one is a skull that I made.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I sculpted all the teeth and everything, and I made it from a foam mannequin head. I made this one, whoops, inspired by the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Nice.
Oh, that's
I made
super
both of these
cool.
for an art show, and this one I won second place in the art show, so this one was fun.
Now,
Wow.
how did you make that? You said you used foam.
It started off as a foam mannequin head, and then I used air dry clay and I made all the scales individually. And that's what the teeth are, is air dry clay. And then the like kind of gill webbing is I think it's a mixture of liquid latex and Mod Podge and some stretched out cotton.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually made all of this while I was staying in a hotel room at the time.
Oh, that's
Really? Oh, I bet they loved you.
Oh yeah, they definitely loved me. There was foam everywhere and cotton everywhere. And
Oh, man.
so. That's a one of a kind piece. I mean, you make one of a kind monsters. Like you
yes,
can't replicate it, right?
right. I love to make them, and I love to make them by hand. Like I don't have a 3D printer or anything, and I still haven't learned fully how to make huge molds yet or anything. Because for me, with my disease, it's a little difficult.
Are you wanting to get into 3D, like digital sculpting, or?
I want to get into everything. I want
Ah,
to do what you guys do. I started off in special effects makeup and well initially in scare acting. And
Oh,
then yes, I was a scare actor since 2011, and that's what got me into like special effects. And then I moved into special effects, and then I realized when you make props, it's like special effects makeup, but it you don't have to wash it off. It stays. So I really love doing that. So special effects makeup and props are definitely where I want to go with my career and what I'm hoping to do.
which one do you like better? I mean, or both equally, or what do you
Um,
think?
I think maybe props just a little bit better, just because, like I said, you don't have to wash it off. You
Mhm.
can always go back and look at it. I mean, unless your prop gets broken, but still, you can always go back and look at it. Um, but I also love special effects because you're working with people and you get to watch them bring your creation to life.
yes. That's
So
a different level.
yeah.
So now, so you were an actor, con actor.
Yep.
Where was that at?
I initially started at Forsaken Haunted House in Mentor, Ohio. That
Uh-huh.
was my very first haunt job, and I stayed there for a couple years, and it was great. I immediately fell in love with everything about the haunt industry.
Well, we had that experience too because we were just making this stuff for many years. And then when we had a haunted house, we realized, wow, this is fun because you get to scare people with the stuff you make, not just send it in the mail to somebody.
What
Right.
what was your character at that one?
When I was there, they were really great about working with my disability and keeping me safe and letting me be a prime scare because in the haunt industry, because I'm different, like it's kind of like a superpower for me.
You're
So they
right.
still wanted me up front. Yeah, that's why I love it. It's like everywhere else I've kind of gotten made fun of for being different, but in the haunt world, it's the opposite. It's you know, they're like you're the perfect shape and the perfect size. It's great. When I was in Forsaken, they made me a special cage where they put my wheelchair under the cage so that at break time they could pull it out. It was a hidden door, and I came out the other hidden door and got right in my wheelchair and went right to their break room. And the cage was elevated so that like there was a regular like jail cell, old school jail cell size cage next to me, and then there was my cage that was elevated, and I was in a place called Quarantine for the zombies, and I played like my zombie was more full blown animalistic. I kind of mixed it with like what is it, like the 28 Days Later zombies, and also kind of channeled my favorite superhero Wolverine and his animalistic ways, and I was just like full blown animal zombie in a cage, and it was great because I had either I would just go crazy as soon as people would get in there, or I would sit there and they thought I was a prop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they would come right up to my cage, and then I would jump scare them, and they would freak
You know,
out.
And then where did you go after that haunt then?
I worked Regal Vineyards, which is a small haunt near me in Madison, Ohio, and I tried to just work all the haunts around Ohio, like Mansfield Reformatory and Carnival of Horrors and things like that. I did travel acting for a long time. I didn't really stick with one haunt because I was trying to see what different haunts were out there, and I was developing my characters and everything. And so then I ended up getting a job at Paranormal Cirque, which is a multi-million-dollar traveling haunted house and circus.
Wow.
I've never heard of this. That's amazing. That really sounds cool.
Yes, it was very fun, and we moved every Monday, and we would go to different cities and then to different states, and it was like classic like circus tent and had circus acts, but when you would first go in, you had to get past the cemetery, and that's where I was as a scare actor, and I would go out around the tent and sneak up on the whole line of people, and it was great, and it was fun because I got to kind of cipher through all my different characters because it was every single weekend. I have 6 different characters now, and they all have backgrounds, and 6th one I'm still working on, but they all have backgrounds and names and stories to them, and I make all my costumes for them. Okay, now I'm going to make the cut off legs of my costume. Even an amputee, which is great because people really believe it because I made the stump legs and everything, with me being small and already in a wheelchair, everybody already freaks out.
So are you still wanting to act, or are you kind of moving away from that into prop making?
I'm still wanting to act. I want to do as much as I can in the haunt industry. I know, like, when I get older, I know that my main career will be like props and makeup because my disease kind of makes it so that eventually I'll kind of have to slow down a little bit. Like, because with my disease, I break bones and then I get arthritis from those broken bones. I was born with all my bones broken except for like maybe 2 ribs and my fingers and toes. I've broken over 300 times and I've had 19 surgeries so far.
Oh.
Well, Kate, now this brings up something that part of the reason I was excited about having you on is you can overcome so much, and people tend to just quit. They say, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have enough money, I don't have experience, I need training and so forth. And for you to say, this is what my passion is, this is what I want to do, and you just make it work. And honestly, most people would just throw in the towel and just say, no, I don't want to risk it and stuff. And you're just like, nope, we're going to keep going. I love that.
I'm always down to do anything that I can. I've done not just in a cage, I've done queue line, I've done big crowds.
And then as far as the makeup, the special effects and stuff, what kind, have you done that in like at haunts, or where have you done that at?
I've done it in haunts, and I've done a few small independent films.
Wow.
I've done it, I forget what the first film was that I did. Of One Flesh, that's what it was. I did a film called Of One Flesh. I don't think it's come out yet. But and then I did my friend Matthew. He runs MMH Productions, which is he's also from Ohio, and he comes out with like these 10-minute long movies, and he comes out with them over and over like every week. And
wow.
I've done makeup for him, and also played in one of his Krampus movies because one of my characters is a evil teddy bear. So it's a scare bear, and it's all like Frankenstein together, and it has a ripped open head with a zipper and everything. And I am in one of his Krampus films, and I hide in stuffed animals and I attack someone. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, I've definitely done some independent films, and I've acted in an independent film called Chained for Life. And so that was definitely fun. I acted with Jess Wexler, who plays in the movie Teeth.
Wow.
And he has a small role in It 2, the new It 2 movie.
Wow.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, again, it's amazing what can happen if you just go for it. If you've got this drive, this passion, and then you just say, I'm going to go. I'm just going to do this. And it's amazing the doors that open up.
That's awesome. What does your family think about the haunt world and stuff?
It's actually because of my family why I got into it.
Okay.
My dad is a super horror fan. And so growing up, I was already a weird kid. Like growing up, my brother and his best friend convinced me that my brother's best friend was an alien, and that so was I was an alien too. So I grew up researching aliens, and I have a whole notebook of alien research that I still, like, anybody can, ask me questions, and I love aliens. So I grew up being weird like that. And then my dad was a horror fan, and I remember the first horror movie I watched was Scream. And it was because on one of my surgeries, I had a body cast on both legs up to my belly button. And my dad had left it on the Sci-Fi channel, and he had fallen asleep. And I couldn't move to change the channel, and I kept trying to wake him up, and he's a hard sleeper, and he wouldn't wake up and change the channel. And I'm like a little kid sitting there and just too petrified to close my eyes or close my ears, and I'm just watching this. And then I fell in love with horror, and that's how I got started on that.
Uh-huh.
Now, how old were you when that happened? When you saw Scream?
Probably like maybe like 5.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I took the kids to Scream when they were very young, and I actually came out of the theater and apologized to them because I knew they weren't quite ready for that.
Yeah, I was like, and my dad, when he woke up the next day, he was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You wouldn't wake up," and he did that to me all grown up. Like he always, I'll watch this movie with you, even when I started to get into it, but I was still a little creeped out. Like I'd watch Silent Hill or something, and I'd be like, "Dad, you have to watch this with me because it still freaks me out a little bit." And he's like, "Yeah, I will," and then he'd go to sleep, and I'd be like, "Cool, I'm watching it by myself." But
That's pretty funny.
Now
yeah,
nothing freaks you out now, probably.
no, not really. I think the Insidious movies are still really good and still have some good jump scares, but I don't really get freaked out. I'm more uh like to watch them and try to figure out how they work and how they did this special effect. Or,
Right.
Yeah, that's one of
Right.
the whatever you call it, blessings or plagues of the industry is you can't
Yeah.
watch a movie like a normal person because you're
Yeah,
dissecting it. It's like, you know, they should have done this. It would have looked more real. You know, with these kinds of
yeah.
things.
And that's what I've done to my mom too, because my mom, however, is not a horror fan, but like she always got freaked out by it easily, so I had to teach her like, okay, this is how they're doing this. So now she does the same thing and will dissect the films. And but she was a professional clown for hospice.
Wow.
That's cool.
So when growing up, that's how I got into the makeup effects part of it, because she gave me her old clown makeup set.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I
That's,
kind of
you know, that
put
is
that
cool.
together.
That's cool.
supportive parents can really help. And some kids don't have that. They have to kind of power through that. And, you know, it's great that your parents were on board.
Definitely, yeah.
So I have a question on your monsters and stuff that you're making. Do you have a website or are you selling them anywhere?
I have a Facebook page, which I have 2 now because my Facebook page got hacked, so I had to make another one.
Uh-huh.
But it's at T-Rex Talents 2.0. And that's where like I post about all my projects. Like I'm working on Frankenstein now.
Ah,
So
let me
yeah.
hold on. Hold that up there a second. Let me see.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
And I'm hoping he's gonna have a body, but like maybe amputated arms, and it's just gonna be the torso though, and I want him to be on my living room wall, and that's how all of these started out. All of these monsters started out like this, and just layers of latex and cotton and everything. And
Nice.
I did it because Frankenstein. I love Frankenstein. Well, Frankenstein's monster. I love Frankenstein's monster, and that's the only movie to have scared my dad ever.
Really? Yeah, but he was probably really young when that came out.
Yeah, and he said that it was because he had fallen asleep with a box of Tide laundry detergent in his hand while watching it. So when he woke up, he thought it was Frankenstein's head. And so I've been like on a mission to try to make the best Frankenstein monster that I can, to try to be like, Dad, look, and see if it like sparks that slight childhood fear in him, because nothing can scare him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's what I'm working on, and all of that updates and everything are on my Facebook T-Rex Talents .2 page, and then I have an Instagram that's just regular T-Rex Talents.
So have you had any training at all or school for prop building and things? Or effects?
No, I'd like to. I went to I visit the Douglas Educational Center a lot because that's the closest school to here, the one that Tom Savini runs.
Oh, okay.
And I went there and I actually won first place in a contest versus all the college kids there. and they thought I was in school, but I'm not. And I've never done any like official training with anyone. Like, you know, I watched the people at the haunted houses and seen what they do. And I did spend one day with a face-off winner and did makeup with him, with Anthony Kosar, but I've never
Yeah, he's a great guy.
yeah, he's awesome. He gave me a bandana that I still have, and I wear it every time I'm on any movie assignment or anything like that. And but no, I've never had any training. I kind of just like I bring a bunch of stuff home, and my mom's always like, "What are you gonna do with all that junk?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna make it into something." And she's always like, "You're just hoarding again. You're not gonna make what is it?" And then she'll come out a couple hours later because half of my living room is made into my workshop. So she'll come out a couple hours later and be like, "Wow, you really made something. That's I didn't see that at all." And I was like, "Yeah, see, I told you. I didn't know what it was gonna be. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I figured it out." And
that's great.
What was the Tom Savini thing again? I didn't get that.
The Tom Savini special effects program. It's in Manessa, PA, and that's where I'm hoping to go to college to eventually. It's about 4 hours away from me, and I went there for a contest. They were having the last ever episode of Face Off, and they were having a contest, and it was a special effects makeup contest and / costume contest, and it was judged by Tom Savini himself and George Romero's wife and a director. I can't remember the director's name. It was a few years ago, but I went there and I entered, and I ended up winning first place. And most of the contestants were kids that were already in the already in the college.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we get to see you soon.
Yes.
Definitely.
I know not this year, but hopefully something's going on in Ohio soon.
Yeah, I hope so. And I definitely, Trans World is definitely a goal of mine. I know it's more of a professional setting, and it's weird for me to like see myself as a professional. I mean, like other people who talk to me are like, will tell me, you know, I've heard of you in the haunt industry and stuff. And for me, I'm still like, I still get starstruck by all the people that I've learned from, and you know, so I'm like, oh, I forget that I am able to go to Trans World at the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that applies to me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, get a booth.
Definitely,
yeah. Wow, so good to see you again.
Yeah,
Amazing.
really cool. It's great to learn a little more. You know, at the trade show, you can't hardly talk. You know, it's so busy, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we're gonna look forward to those photos for sure and video. Check you out.
Yeah, we're gonna check you out
on Facebook or whatnot.
All right, we will see ya.
Have a wonderful day, Tiffany.
Yay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.